Buongiorno e bentornati cari amici di London One Radio, questo è il nostro appuntamento di Sportello Italia che non può mai mancare ogni mercoledì alle ore 10. Bene, noi questa mattina scopriremo come, nonostante la Brexit, nonostante le criticità economiche che tutti conosciamo, il Regno Unito continua ad investire in Italia e lo scopriremo proprio insieme alla nostra ospite Aster Thackery, Investor Director ed Italian Trade Agency in London. Good morning.
Good morning.
Bene, tra poco gli approfondimenti dopo la sigla.
Sportello Italia.
News ed eventi dalle istituzioni italiane in Regno Unito.
Aster, thank you very much for being with us this morning. Actually, very surprisingly, the UK, even though Brexit, still invests in Italy. And in fact, you mentioned that you supported over 40 British and Irish companies to enter the Italian market. So basically, what are the key factors that make Italy an attractive destination for foreign investment?
Thank you. So, good morning. Firstly, just to be clear, when we in our office are talking about foreign investment, it's a very small part of foreign investment. It's the activity of a business in the UK or Ireland expanding into Italy and therefore investing by creating jobs, by opening an office, by perhaps building a facility or a site. So that's the type of foreign investment that we're talking about when we mentioned the 40 customers or companies that we helped over the last year. In terms of what makes Italy attractive,
yes,
when we spoke to the companies that we work with, it may not surprise you, but first of all, Italy, of course, is the 8th largest economy in the world, so everybody's heard of Italy. But what makes it attractive from a business perspective, the Made in Italy brand of quality is so strong. You know, customers want to come to Italy, companies want to come to Italy to manufacture, they know they can create good quality products. The skills is also really high. So companies that are looking to relocate into a new country, they want to know that they can have good quality people working for them. And it is well known that the Italian labor market is highly skilled.
Bene.
And then the third reason that UK companies in particular will tell us that they want to go to Italy is because, you know, La Dolce Vita, right? The Italian lifestyle, the appeal of being in Italy. So those are three of the really big reasons that companies tell us that they want to go to Italy.
Very interesting. Quindi facciamo un piccolo briefing. Ci sono 3 motivi principali che spingono gli inglesi ad estendere il proprio business in Italia, non solo per la dolce vita, ma comunque conosciamo che dal punto di vista manifatturiero il Made in Italy è il leader ed infatti una delle economie più grandi al mondo, l'8ª per essere precisi, come è stata molto precisa Aster, e in tutto questo le skills. Quindi per tutte quelle persone che dicono in Italia non abbiamo talenti perché tutti vanno via, ricordiamoci che comunque l'Italia è riuscita e continua a riuscire ad attrarre così tanti business perché comunque ha le capacità, ha quel know-how che molte nazioni ancora non hanno e quindi rimane very attractive. So what sectors in Italy currently offer the most promising opportunities for UK investors, according even to the latest data that you have, of course, from 2024?
Yeah, so we are a government agency, so we have a responsibility to focus on high value sectors for Italy. And the reason I say that is because, you know, in the UK is a really huge services sector. There's a lot of financial services, professional services, and we know that those types of businesses are expanding into Italy and looking at Italy. However, the sectors that we're really focused on and that we see high growth potential over the next year would be, firstly, aerospace. Aerospace is one of the fastest growing sectors in Italy, and we've worked closely over the last year with some of the regions in the north, including Piemonte, Lombardy, who have done a lot of international outreach in this sector. So there's a lot of opportunities there for UK companies. Also, life sciences, again, Italy's got one of the fastest growing revenues in biotech compared to the rest of Europe. And then the third one I want to mention is renewables. So that's not just from the UK, although we have seen a lot of demand in renewables and clean tech from the UK, but internationally as well. Italy is a very, very attractive destination for renewable energy providers and clean tech providers.
Very interesting. Quindi, come potete ascoltare anche da Esther, ci sono 3 settori fondamentali che attraggono il Regno Unito, che poi è conforme a quello che finora il governo ha dichiarato di voler impegnarsi nel promuovere ancora di più un'energia completamente ecosostenibile. L'ecosostenibilità è uno dei settori dove l'Italia è il leader e il Regno Unito vuole creare partnership, ma non dimentichiamoci dell'aerospaziale in zone come Piemonte e Lombardia e anche nel biotech. Quindi, come vedete, un'Italia che a differenza di quello che molte persone dicono pizza, pasta e mandolino, we're not just pizza and pasta, we are something else. You know, this data that you are sharing with us is very interesting because especially when we talk about the UK or we are focused on the London market, which is completely different to the rest of the country, we focus mainly on food, you know, on food export, but we are not just that. So very, very nice what you said. So regarding instead Brexit, I mean, I believe Brexit had an impact on investment relations. So how your department was able to facilitate the relationship between the two countries on an investment level?
Just to go to your point about food, this is one of the really interesting things about my job is that I'm talking to UK businesses all the time about how Italy is so much more than pizza and pasta.
Oh,
right?
very good, nice, Aster. Very good job.
most British people or people here, they don't realize that Italian engineers built half of the International Space Station, right? So yeah. In terms of Brexit, Brexit is an interesting one for us because clearly Brexit meant that trade, selling goods and services between Italy and the UK, or the UK and the EU in general, of course, has become much more complicated. From the perspective of investment, so companies in the UK and Ireland looking towards, well, not Ireland, obviously, sorry, companies in the UK looking towards the EU as a market, in some ways, it just means that for me, and for our office, we need to change our messaging. So it's when I speak to a company now, I say, look, you need to be located in the UK. You can't just be you need to be in Europe. You can't just be in the UK and do business because it's not as easy. You need to have a location in Europe as well. So choose Italy, and then we can talk to them about the reasons why it's
right, of course. I think we lost a little bit of the connection. Oh no, there you go. You are back.
Yeah.
We lost a little bit your connection. So you said, yeah, no worries, because we listened to the fact that usually in order to convince people in investing in Italy, it's important to understand how now especially it's important to have a place, an extension of our business in Europe, but amongst all the countries, be in Italy, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I was just going to use the example of just earlier this week, we were speaking to a British company that is now looking for a place for a logistics hub, but then that will also become a remanufacturing facility in the longer term. And I'm saying to them, well, Italy is the perfect location for this, right? We can find you the land, you can access all of Europe, north, south, east, west, which way you want to go. So these are the conversations that we're having.
Ecco, vedi, ha mostrato Aster anche un esempio concreto, quindi il suo lavoro in questo momento è cercare di far capire l'importanza di avere un'estensione del proprio business in Europa, in modo particolare in Italia. Ha menzionato un'azienda che si è rivolta proprio all'inizio di questa settimana ad Aster chiedendo dov'è il posto migliore per poter sistemare il proprio logistic company, e l'Italia comunque offre delle opportunità a lungo termine. Questo è importante. A long-term opportunity, of course, is very interesting. At the same time, the reason why many Italians and many Italian companies, to be honest, decided to leave Italy is because of its bureaucracy. So when we talk about incentives and taxes, what kind of opportunities Italy gives to the UK, which is a system completely different, much more pragmatic, I believe.
Yeah, just on the point of bureaucracy, I mean, that is the B word. That is the B word that people here always mention, not Brexit, but bureaucracy, when they think about Italy. And what I've come to realize working in this role with the Italian Trade Agency is a lot of it is perception. I mean, yes, there is bureaucracy. However, there's bureaucracy if you go to any new country, and in fact, there's bureaucracy when you come to the United Kingdom. So we have a role to play. It's two parts. One is to help these companies understand the processes and manage their way through. And second is if there are any things that are particularly troublesome for them, then we can share this information with the policy makers in Rome, in government, and it's up to them to decide what to do. When it comes to tax incentives and things like that, I mean, at the moment for startups, Italy has a very attractive tax scheme. And you've probably, heard in the news that for, very wealthy people as well, ultra high net worth individuals, Italy has one of the most attractive tax schemes in Europe.
Right.
When it comes to corporates, businesses, what I notice is, they will have their tax planning taken care of by professional advisors. So if they're serious about going into a country, in the old days, corporates would be looking around for really, really low corporate tax rates. But now it's much more about being a responsible corporate, paying your taxes and paying fair taxes. So I think that the tax planning is taken care of in a different way. And when it comes to incentives, just the last thing that I wanted to add is we do in Italy have a very attractive incentive scheme called the development contract. So if we do have a large corporate that's looking at a 20 million euro investment, the Italian government, we do have the ability to provide grants and incentives to help support that investment because we deem it to be really good for the economy.
Right, ecco, cercherò di fare un briefing. Naturalmente quando si parla dell'Italia la B word che viene subito menzionata non è tanto Brexit quanto la burocrazia. Ecco perché l'Italia Trade Agency cerca di facilitare il rapporto tra il governo italiano e nuovi investitori, perché così fa capire anche all'Italia le necessità che hanno queste aziende per insediarsi nel nostro territorio e quindi portare valore aggiunto. Ma la cosa incredibile è che se molti si spaventano davanti un po' alle tasse, al tempo stesso l'Italia permette di avere molti incentivi dal punto di vista finanziario, quindi anche su questo l'Italian Trade Agency cerca di mediare e quindi dare delle offerte piuttosto interessanti per grandi corporate ma anche per delle start-up. So in conclusion, Aster, to be honest, I want to understand with you what's the vision that you have for the role of Invest in Italy in the next 5 years, and particularly what are the next steps that your department in Italian Trade Agency is looking to introduce for the 2025?
Yeah, thank you. So I am based in the London office, as I believe you know, so I cannot speak for our entire department. However, what I see is that Italy is newer than other countries at doing this activity of speaking to foreign companies about why they should come to Italy, right? So other countries, the UK, for example, have been doing this for a long, long time. They've been bringing companies from all around the world to the UK. So they're very good at saying why the UK is so great. So with Italy, from a business perspective, for me, I think Italy's got so much potential. And for our organization, I would like to see us having a greater presence around the world. So at the moment, people doing what I'm doing around the world, we have around 20 offices, although we have, as an agency, we have far more offices than that, but they're doing not this activity. So I'd like to see a greater presence because I think we can really draw a lot more quality investment into Italy. And, at the end of the day, it's all about creating jobs, creating industry, bringing in innovation and improving things for the people in Italy.
Right, quindi come vediamo quello che hai detto Aster è interessante e cerca di lasciare anche molta speranza, cioè vedere un'Italia che ha grandissimo potenziale, ma questo potenziale deve naturalmente fruttare, altrimenti ci sono 20 uffici dell'Italia Trade Agency, del loro dipartimento sparsi in tutto il mondo, ma naturalmente vogliono intensificare la loro presenza per creare nuove opportunità lavorative e di scambio e portare il marchio Made in Italy ancora di più in tutto il mondo, anche se comunque è famoso, ma cercare di estendere il Made in Italy su settori che la stessa Aster ci ha anticipato all'inizio, che non riguardano solo il cibo, ma anche l'aerospaziale, l'ingegneria, il biotech, il clean tech e tanti altri. So thank you very much, Aster, for giving us, to be honest, a 360 degrees perception about Italy and the UK and the relationship that is still quite active, even though Brexit, even though the UK economic crisis, and this gives us a lot of hope for the businesses.
Can I finish with one just thing to add, which is that, you know, the UK government and the Italian government have such good relationships right now. I mean, a memorandum of understanding was signed a couple of years ago, and, you know, now with Italy having one of the most stable governments in Europe, I just think we're in a really positive place.
Perfect. Grazie, Aster. Thank you very much for being with us. And of course, as soon as we have more information regarding this relationship, please, you'll be very welcome on London One Radio. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
E invece noi continuiamo con Sportello Italia, chiudiamo la radiovisione, ma continuiamo in radio su londononeradio.com con tutti gli altri approfondimenti delle iniziative culturali diplomatiche dei nostri cari istituti italiani di cultura e anche delle altre istituzioni diplomatiche che si trovano sul territorio britannico. Quindi mi raccomando, scaricate l'app se non l'avete ancora fatto per ascoltare ancora Sportello Italia.